Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we have in the last episode decided to go absolutely nuts and make all of our resource generation that we can. Now, it may not actually be nuts. It probably isn't. This is probably something that we should have done earlier, but what is nuts is the sheer number of things that we're building at once, and we need to keep an eye on our market access here. Specifically in Friesland and Bavaria, what's going on with that? I did just start up the game here. Maybe we need to let it go through a tick first. Sometimes that can happen to our finances. I don't think that happens to market access. Okay, there's a tick. And we're going to get rid of this diplomatic play probably. Yeah, Radical Wallachia versus Wallachia. We're not too interested in that right now. Okay, so we declare neutrality there. We've got a couple of potentially interesting things to look at here. We'll get back to that. What I'm most interested in right now is what exactly is going on in Bavaria. Now, Friesland, that makes sense to me. We just conquered Friesland, or they just gave it to us, I guess. And we're still working on incorporating that, and we're upgrading the trains there, right? That makes sense. But what's going on with Bavaria? 461 out of 363 infrastructure, so minus 98. So we need 4 levels of railroad. Interesting. We just straight up need 4 levels of railroad here. Okay, so we'll just definitely put that in, and I'll alt-click to put that at the top of the queue. 1, 2, that is not the button I wanted. 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put in a 5th just for future-proofing. Okay. So those are at the beginning here. It'll take that a little while to get done. Interesting that the market access in Bavaria dropped so quickly there. Very interesting indeed. I'm guessing... I don't have a theory on that. I don't have a theory. So, at this point, we should look at what we've got going on over here. So we can either enact elected bureaucrats, which we have high support for. What would this actually get us? Minus 15% bureaucracy institution cost multiplier. I mean, we're spending a lot of bureaucracy on our institutions. No doubt about that. We would also gain some political strength from the petite bourgeoisie. Sure. The intelligentsia and the Junkers would oppose it. That seems okay, though. The really weird thing, though, is that we would end up losing this 25% taxation capacity, I think. But that's probably okay. We will have to expand our government administration, doing it this way. But I think that's okay. So we could go for elected bureaucrats. Let's take a look at our other option. No migration controls here. So we're currently disallowing discriminated pops from migrating. The industrialists would endorse this. Trade unions and the rural folk would oppose this, and it would radicalize the petite. Noted. So this would not, I think, be a good thing to do. We don't have the political will for this right now, I think. Enacting elected bureaucrats, on the other hand, this I think we have the political will for. Now, one thing I was hoping to see here was that this would boost up our legitimacy from votes. Sadly, that doesn't seem to be the case. But we'll go ahead and start enacting that, and we'll see what ends up happening with that. Okay, so they want to preserve appointed bureaucrats. Of course they do. That is, I believe, all of our technologies now unlocked. Let's double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is literally every technology unlocked. Yes, that is accurate. Okay, so we're going to hop into here, actually into here, and we're going to go into our development because we can drop our naval bases. We were already on battleships. We don't want to be on dreadnoughts. We can go down to carriers, submarines, yes. I just want to make these go away. There we go. Cool. Sea lane strategies, and then battle fleet attack. Cool, so that seems to be fine for now. No real problem there. And let's take a look at our market access here. It'll be a little bit before this starts coming back up. So for the time being, let's just tick forward here and work our way through this construction queue. It'll be a while. 54 weeks, to be precise. Okay, so the railway in Friesland is going to be done in 2 weeks. Will that fix this problem on its own? Almost. But we should definitely get a second one building in Friesland. Okay. France wants a trade agreement. Sure, why not? That'll be fine. Can we think about cutting our taxes at this point? Would the excess legitimacy actually help us? I don't think it would. No, so there's not really a huge amount of point to cutting our taxes here. Yeah, the legitimacy is the only thing I really like here. The radicals from standard of living decreases is not all that relevant right now, I think. Okay. We could think about increasing our government wages if we wanted to. Do we care about that? No, is the answer. We do not. Military wages. Honestly, I don't think we care about that either. I think we just leave that be. So that looks all good. The canvas of ideas. The intelligentsia find it difficult to find the cheap paper they need to immortalize their thoughts. The only upside of this wretched state of affairs, the professor said with an exasperated sigh, is that when someone says an idea is not worth the paper it's printed on, they at least mean it. So we can set up a paper import, or we can tell them, learn brevity. Sure. We'll set that up for the journal and set up paper import, start importing paper to the capital. Okay, so if we go over to Brandenburg here and we go to, this is in the North German market. So just in our normal market is where we would need to import this. Okay, sure. Where is paper actually? Transportation is, okay, this is, I want to bump up by market price. There we go. Okay, so here's paper. So an import route here would be, say, from the French market. And that would actually be quite a lot of paper. So we'll go ahead and do that. And does that just finish that? Yeah, cool. So that's really easy. I like it. So we've got the Metropolitan Police. We'll complete if North German investment for law enforcement is equal to 5. Is this and or? Turmoil in Brandenburg is equal to 20%. Okay, let's take a look at our investment level for the law enforcement institution. That's at 4. Okay, we can bump that back up. Beautiful. What else do we have in this journal? War among the clouds. North German Federation has aerial reconnaissance usage that is greater than 25%. Interesting. Chemical warfare here. Chemical weapons specialist usage. Sure, and flamethrowers. Yeah, those are all basically the same event. Noted. So I believe that the way that we would end up doing that would be by running aerial reconnaissance and then flamethrower and chemical weapons specialists if we really wanted to do that. Hypothetically, if we were to bump up all of our... Ooh, that's actually still profitable. At least for the moment. It would likely dip negative. Yes. It did indeed dip negative. Do we expect that to be a problem? Not really, to be honest. Not really. With all of the construction that we're doing here on our raw resources... Yeah, this is continuing to go up. Not loyalists. Our money here is continuing to go up. Perfect. So that's great. Upgrading our costs here, or rather upgrading our amount of raw resources is the word I'm looking for, should drive our costs overall down. And that is the goal behind getting all of this construction done. So that'll finish up eventually. It's currently 1829, so we have, what, 7 years left? A little bit under 7 years. Okay, sounds good. So we're just going to continue to tick on forward. We just finished up a bunch of coal mines. The real question now is, how's that unemployment looking? It's definitely dropping. Down to 1.86 million. Okay, I like it. That's exactly what we need then. Our number of loyalists is, I think, creeping upward. 4.88. 4.87. Okay. So that's just kind of chilling. Got it. Well, for the time being, that's fine. Our politics are awkward. And I think the overall reason for that is because we're a constitutional monarchy. So I wouldn't mind swapping over to a presidential republic. But there's a lot of support for that. Unfortunately, no political movement has spawned for that. So we're going to go to elected bureaucrats for the time being. And how are we doing on those unemployed now? 1.92 million. Okay. I'm still thinking that the problem here, down to 1.85. The problem here is I still believe... Oh, hey, North German people have begun migrating to our state. Fantastic. I still believe that our primary problem with unemployment is with qualifications. And yeah, look at that unemployment jump. Presumably, mostly in Hesse. What do we have there? Population. How many unemployed? Does it actually say in here? I'm sure it does somewhere. Unemployed. 16.6k. 25.4k. Noted. Okay, so that's all fine. What do we have here that is hiring? We've got a lot of places hiring, actually. So that's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Elected bureaucrats has attracted new supporters, increasing enactment success by 15%, up to 57.3. That's good. We like that. And we're continuing to work on our lead mines and our coal mines. So we're finishing up our construction of our coal mines. And starting to swap over to lead mines. And also sulfur. Cool. That's really good. 2.12 million, 2.13 million. Okay. The question is, do we have to build more construction? I still think it's qualifications that are the primary issue. That said, these things that we're building right now shouldn't require very high of qualifications. We're now noticing our GDP at 1.1 billion. Look at that skyrocket. That is really, really good. So elected bureaucrats is going to be done eventually. We've got a 57% chance to finish that on the next checkpoint. We're spending down our credit here. And that's also very, very good. Of course, we're spending a ridiculous amount on construction right now. And that's fully expected. So this is looking good. Let's take a quick look here. Yep, I'm not surprised that we have low market access in Westphalia, Hesse, Silesia, and Rhineland. So let's go ahead and build railways in each of those locations at the top of the queue by holding Alt. Cool. So there they are at the top of the queue. And we'll get that all underway. We need to keep an eye on that and not let this market access get away from us, because if it does, problems ensue. We have some unproductive trade routes and an inactive trade route here. Okay. We're still running an oil input goods shortage, and we always and forever will run an oil input goods shortage. I'm resigned to that fate. Unfortunately, there's just no way around it, it seems. Glass paper clippers. Yeah, that's all normal. Fully expected there. So we're about 2/3 of the way through our construction queue here. Keep in mind, these don't take all that long to construct. They really don't. They go quite quickly. So that gets done fairly swiftly there. And our unemployment is continuing to go up. We're currently growing by almost 1 million pop. And that's good. But we do need to handle this unemployment. No migration controls would help. I wish I knew how much of this unemployment was affected by the migration controls. How much of it is like an accepted culture and how much of it is a discriminated culture? That's the real question right now. I don't know the answer to that. Let's see. This is revolutionary Scandinavia versus Scandinavia. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I would still really, really like to get Bremen away from them. I mean, it's only 3 additional oil rigs, 5 total, but It's better than nothing. 500 oil is not terrible. So that would be nice, but alas, I don't know that that's going to be a thing. Since we simply can't do a diplomatic play on Bremen directly, as far as I can tell. So the question becomes, how do we get them to exit their protectorate status? Maybe the tooltip says, they're able to start their own diplomatic plays. A country may ask or be asked to become a protectorate under an overlord without risk of war if the offer is declined. Okay, so hypothetically, I'm going to make a save here just in case I accidentally change something. We are not intending to make any changes here. And let's switch over to Bremen. I want to see if they have any interactions with Scandinavia. Demand independence. So what would they need to do this? Diplomatic pact currently active. Is this telling me that they're currently demanding independence? Ongoing efforts to improve relations are at 0 progress, +1 per day, and will result in mutual relations changing by +1 on 11 January 1930. Okay. Yeah, they've got some progress from their protectorate. If we break this diplomatic pact... Okay, so if this diplomatic play wasn't happening, I think that's what this is saying. If this diplomatic play wasn't happening, they could demand independence. Scandinavia would not accept this. Obviously. But I'm wondering under what situations the AI would choose to do that. So we didn't make any changes. We're just going to swap back to the North German. It's just intriguing to note. So we'll go ahead and declare neutrality here. It'd be really interesting if we could declare a war for Bremen. We just don't seem to have any interaction options for that. And I would have done that by now if we could. But alas, I don't see an option for it. We can't do that directly on Bremen. There are no possible diplomatic plays. Bremen would accept an alliance. Okay. So we've formed an alliance with Bremen. Now that's interesting. I wonder if with that there, they will feel comfortable declaring independence. We'll see. Now, as far as Hohenzollern is going, they're genial and cordial. So they're at +35. We could absolve an obligation for them, bringing them up to +65. And then we can bankroll them and propose a trade agreement. Done. We're hoping to invite them to the customs union once they get up to 80. And that will be roughly +1 per week. Yeah, something like that. There's a lot of progress going on there. So that's good. That is absolutely great. We're already allied with them, and that's fine. So our constructions are beginning to finish, right? We're starting to see some of these other things that are auto-queued coming up. That's okay. We're finishing up all of our resource extraction. And again, that's probably something we should have done earlier. Now, another thing that we can definitely do is fill out our arable land. Farmers, huh? Any pop can become farmer. Potential increases with greater wealth. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about arable land here. It looks like it's most beneficial to do rye farms. We could think about bringing those up. Are we auto-expanding these? Apparently not. We should be auto-expanding everything in here. At least that we can. A lot of these we can't because there's no expansion possible. But for these farms up here, they should be auto-expanding. Okay, same with everything in here. Everything in here should be auto-expanding, and I'm not actually sure what turned this off. I don't think we did that, because I did not intend for this to be off. We're not going to subsidize that. Auto-expand in places where we can. Cool. So there's our law enforcement going up to level 5. We have grassroots support for law. Cool. 20% of lower strata pops in Brandenburg becoming more loyalist? That's huge. We'll take that. Absolutely. Language in the classroom. Okay. They want people to speak the official language of the North German Federation. So, radicals from discrimination, I don't think that would be necessarily great. Do we care about the assimilation speed? I mean, yes, but also no. Cool. There we go. Fantastic. So we're making a ridiculous amount of money right now. Let's go ahead and cut taxes. Maybe not that far. Let's cut taxes to low. Cool, that'll do. I'm also noting our GDP dropped. And this graph is suddenly in a very different state. It's no longer showing back to 1908. Okay, sure. Our GDP dropped very abruptly and is creeping back up. Do we have market access issues? Yes, we do. And are we working on that? No, we are not. Cool. So let's go ahead and build railways in each of these locations that have market access issues. There we go. That's all underway. Are we not auto-expanding our railways either? Because, okay, we're not. We'll get that going. Beautiful. Cool. So, how's our unemployment doing? 3 million. It's definitely growing. Okay. So, rye farms are definitely the most profitable here, right? There's no doubt about that. Let's go ahead and max out our rye farms in Hesse. Or actually, maybe we should max out rye farms wherever we have them. And then livestock ranches wherever we have those. And then wheat farms in the rest. I don't know. I don't know about that. Auto expansion seems like the way to go here. I did not necessarily mean to expand that. There we go. Okay. So the question is, if we come over here and we look at our buildings. We've got this rye farm. It's looking to hire. Weekly balance is barely negative. Because it's trying to use oil. Got it. We don't really have oil. We've got an input goods shortage of oil. We can try to import some. It's rough. Or we could go into our buildings here and turn down our production method for our farms. Instead of compression ignition tractors, we can go down to regular tractors, and these are going to be coal-powered. We have plenty of coal. Coal is not a problem. So we go to tractors there as well. So our rye farms, are they using any oil at all? Coal and engines is fine. Okay. So that should, in theory, make these more profitable. So if we look at this rye farm, yeah, now it's a weekly balance that is positive, and now it's beginning to hire. Now it's negative due to wages. Okay. And now it's quite positive. So I'm going to assume that that's going to fix that problem. Maybe I shouldn't assume that, but there we go. So we're going to get a lot of these employments hopefully fixed. But the biggest thing we need to handle right now is our market access, particularly in Pomerania. What's going on in Pomerania? Well, the railway's only at 20% employment. That's a big part of it. Okay. So I guess that's fine. And all of this should, in theory, get fixed by the auto expansion, or at least mostly get fixed by the auto expansion. How are we doing on our loyalists? We're doing okay. How about our radicals? That is improving. Good. Elected bureaucrats will hopefully be done quite soon here. Hopefully. And we're just going to finish up this railway. Cool. Tooling workshops, yeah, that's fine. And that should, in theory, all of that construction that we did on our raw resources should make things a lot better. But I do think that we should do the same with our rye farms. Those produce fruit, grain, and sugar. And that seems fine. So, actually, looking at this, this is a lot less high in terms of earnings now. And I'm guessing that's because they are actually employing people. So, livestock ranches, rye farms, and wheat farms. We only changed 2 farms here, did we not? Rye farms, wheat farms. Livestock ranches already did not have any oil consumption. Right, because those are different. Noted. Okay, so that should be absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there. Beautiful. Let's check in real quick on the price of oil now. How are we doing on our oil? Oil, oil, oil. I must have gone past it. Absolutely, I'm sure I did. Okay, we have elected bureaucrats. That's cool. And what I really wanted here was to look at the price of oil. Here it is. So, minus 5.02k. That's a lot better. It's not good, but it's better. Okay. So we got elected bureaucrats. That is fine. We could go to no migration controls. There's a lot of people opposed to that. There's still no political will for that, so I don't think that's what we end up doing. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to bring back our market access and hopefully address that unemployment issue once and for all. Hopefully. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. I like how the clicking there was me saving the game. Oh boy.